Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rosero game stage. Oh, it didn't work. It kind of worked. Right, without further ado, just going to kick things off. Can I welcome onto the stage the one, the only, Camilla Luddington. And Rich, who's going to be playing the game. Welcome, welcome. You'd like to take a seat over there. That's your wonderful couch. Bottle of water.
Thank you.
Rich, please take a seat.
Hi.
So
Hello.
simple. Rich is going to be playing through Rise of the Tomb Raider. He's just going to pick a level somewhere in the middle.
I hear it's a good game. Who knows?
Are you in it?
I think so.
So yeah, Rich is going to play. We're just going to be chatting.
Okay, cool.
So the last time you were on the stage was 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Which is a long time. A lot has happened in those 3 years.
Yeah, I think the first game had just come out.
Yeah, right? I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later.
It's all a giant, horrific journey blur.
Am I starting over, or what am I doing here?
What was your favourite chapter?
For me?
Yeah.
Just putting you on the spot.
Put you on the spot there, right?
Why not? Well, it's hard for me to think of the game in chapters, but with this game or just in general?
Just in this game.
Oh my God.
Favourite one to record?
Well, probably actually the ending.
Okay.
The end. Well, I don't want to spoil it in case someone hasn't played, because I know some people still have not played the last game.
Maybe we shouldn't play the ending. Yeah. I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Let's jump somewhere.
Don't play that. Just start at the beginning. I think the end of this game was my favorite to play because there's a lot that she discovers about her past that she was not aware of.
Okay.
So that was fun to find out.
Well, we're going to jump at the beginning, just in
Let's
case
do it.
people haven't played it,
I don't
right?
want to spoil it for anyone,
So, do you get to come back to England much?
I come back home about twice a year if I can. I film a TV show in the States, and it takes Grey's Anatomy.
I think people might have heard of that one, right?
Yeah, it's a very small medical show. And it takes about 10 months a year to film that. We do 24 episodes. So there's not a ton of time for me to come home, but when I can, I do. Yeah.
How do you fit in the Tomb Raider stuff in the middle of that? I mean, that must have been quite tricky.
You know what's funny is I don't know if people know this, but I actually filmed both at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Because the first game took 3 years to make, the second game took 2 years. So even during the first game, I would do like an episode of Californication, and then I would do Grey's, and then I would do Tomb Raider, and then this game, a lot of Grey's and Tomb Raider. So I go back and forth. I kind of feel like I have multiple personality disorder or something because I'm hopping back and forth between two characters all the time.
Do you ever find them bleeding over into one another and it's like, I got to get out of the Lara
Yeah,
mindset?
sometimes on Grey's I just want to kill people. Why not?
Okay. Wow.
No. You know what was hard about this game? This is reminding me, just watching you do this, is that when they first told me about the second game, they said, you're going to be in freezing cold conditions. And I thought, okay, cool. But I didn't realize that, especially in a VO booth, because not everything is captured with mocap. In order to have that, you actually start to hyperventilate. Like, what you hear me almost dying, I am almost dying from being freezing cold and shaking in a VO booth. So this brings me back to very bad memories.
So how do you do the shivering stuff? Do they just turn the aircon on? And
yeah, they make it freezing. No, I think that part of our job as actors is that we have to sort of create that environment ourselves. So no, I look like a crazy person in the VO booth. You see me jumping around, and sometimes I'll put my hood on like I'm in the scene, and then pretend that I'm freezing cold.
How much is mocap and how much is in the studio? I mean, how is your time split?
If you see, any cut scene is obviously mocapped. We try and mocap as much as possible, but for all of this stuff, because it's gameplay, there's no way to do that. Otherwise, I'd be walking for years.
And sliding down slopes.
Some of this stuff we do. They'll capture me hanging off things like that. It's kind of amazing. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a video game being built, but we've shot it in the same studio as Avatar, both games. And the crew will come in and they'll build the set really quickly. Like they'll build a boat, for example, or they'll build a cliff and they'll just put pads on the bottom. will shoot the scene and then they'll deconstruct it, and then 10 minutes later it will be a different set. So it's really amazing how they capture everything in 8 hours. It's kind of incredible the way they constantly switch up.
Was the first one your first experience with mocap? Or had you done stuff before?
No, I'd never done motion capture before. This is my very first experience. What's fascinating to me is we actually, not a big screen like that. We have a flat screen in front of us. We have a big flat screen when we're shooting, and once I get synced up in my mocap suit, if I walk around, she walks around on the screen. So what's really helpful as an actor is that they'll build what looks like just a wooden block, and they'll tell you that that's fire, or they'll tell you that that's a tree, and you can actually, I can walk around within the room and see what it really looks like in the game. So that's kind of very helpful to see your actual environment. So that was something I didn't know that happened with motion capture, that you could actually explore the world around you in real time there and then.
Oh, wow.
Do you ever lose track of your surroundings on the kind
Do I ever what?
Lose track of your surroundings on the stage and mistake the fire for the tree?
Sometimes I'll do a scene and I'm like, Jonah, da-da-da. And they're like, okay, that's really nice, but you're off a cliff floating in air. Can you just move your way back in? Yeah, all the time. Because it is hard to keep track of things. And what's really different about filming like a TV or show or a film compared to a scene on Tomb Raider is that we only ever take one take. So if I screw up one word, because they're very precise, we have to go back and do the entire thing. Or if I grab something with the wrong hand, we have to start all over. They cannot edit back and forth between takes.
No pressure.
So it takes a long time to choreograph the scenes and then get the emotion right.
How's your life changed since Lara Croft came into it, effectively?
I can feel it.
You know, I think that, and this is like a perfect example of being here today, I think meeting the Tomb Raider fans has been incredible because, I've done Comic Cons here and in San Diego and in Northern California, and I don't think I knew how inspired people were by the character. So to meet fans and to hear their stories or hear how Lara's strength has encouraged them in their own lives, that honestly is really amazing.
Are there many differences between the US and the UK fans when you go to the cons? Or
No, but if you ever get a chance to go to Comic Con San Diego, it's like this on speed or acid, I imagine. I've never done those. But it's just bigger and wilder. So I think that they kind of go even more out, And I see lots of guys dressed up as Lara Croft.
Okay.
Which is cool. They have their own, Croft version. Like Raymond Croft, he's this famous fan in the States, and he always comes dressed as Lara. So guys, next time I'm here, I expect to see some Lara outfits.
Well, next time you're on this stage, I'll dress up as Lara, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No one wants to see that.
Everyone wants to see
No one wants to see that.
So how are the two games? I mean, were the experiences very different or were they very similar?
They were different in that when I first signed on for the reboot, we were really discovering a lot about her character and kind of finding her personality and who she was. Once I hopped back into the second game, I remember getting the script in my car and reading it and instantly going into my Lara voice and just reading it, and I started to get like so excited. So I think I was even more excited to do the second game and again discover more about her and her father and the mansion, like Croft Manor, that, all those things are was really exciting. So it was different to me. It was even more fun.
You still gutted you don't have your own butler in the earlier Tomb Raider games. Lara got a butler. You haven't had your butler yet.
Yeah, where is he?
Well, that should be coming, right? In the grand scheme of things, you hope?
Yeah, I'm not sure. She could have done with him like through this whole game. No, she's not really gotten there yet. Maybe we'll see at some point.
Maybe he's still locked in that cupboard.
Yeah,
Tomb
right,
Raider 2. Yeah.
Was there much of a different change with the technology and stuff? Did the mocap change much, or was it the same experiences across both games?
It's obviously more advanced, which you can see between the two games. It's funny, I haven't seen the first game in a long time, and there was a snippet on my Twitter, I think, that I clicked on, and it's kind of remarkable, even the difference between those two games. But one thing we did experiment is something called MOVA, and just so that you understand what that is. Usually when you do motion capture, you get little focal points on your face, and there are about 90 points of reference. For this game, MOVA, I actually have a picture on my Instagram. They take a paint and they airbrush on little dots. So in regular light, you can't see it, but it's fluorescent. It shows up under a black light. And that is 7,000 points of reference. So the difference between 90 to 7,000, it just shows how much more detailed it is.
And it was actually quicker than, I take it, to put on this paint than it would be to actually stick the little
Yeah,
dots.
I mean, we would hop back and forth. There are some things that, like, if they wanted really close-up detail, they would do it that way. And then there are other times when, yes, I arrive an hour early to have all the dots on my face. Sometimes I would leave with them on and I would forget that they're still on the side of me. But yeah, we do both.
So what do you admire about Lara as a character? Is there anything that you take away from her and try to instill into your life? It's a bit of a deep theoretical question.
I think she's sort of...
Whoops.
To me, she's iconic. Did you just kill me?
You did just kill
Sorry,
you.
I just killed you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I apologise.
Rich has a track record with this. We've done this
Really?
a few times in various different games, and every time, voice actor.
Okay. Okay, so something I admire about her, obviously, is that this is a girl that has been through a lot, has been through a lot of pain. She has issues with trust now, but I think that you see her constantly pull herself together, pick herself up, and continue on, and I think that strength is really admirable about the character.
Is there a kind of direction that you would like to see Lara go as a character?
Yeah.
What would you like to see more of from her?
You know, I think personally I would like to dive even more into her relationship with her dad and what that was, and maybe even discover more about her mother, because I think that will inform all of us even more so about the character too. And then I think from here on out she just has to get darker, to be honest. I don't think that... Oh, this is so funny. I remember shooting this.
So is this
It's
one
bringing me back. This is something that we definitely... This took hours. This took hours to shoot.
So kind of just run us through, like, to shoot this scene, what would you have to do? How did they have to prepare you? Why did it take hours to shoot? Like,
it takes hours to shoot because in a scene like this, there is a lot of detail. I believe this is when she comes, when Anna shows up for the first time, I think. Mm-hmm. I love how I'm asking you guys. Because the timing of everything has to be exact, and they actually made an entire set that looked like this, so they had crazy paintings and drawings and sketches everywhere, and at one point there's I don't know if it's still, by the way, scenes change all the time. They'll take out one tiny thing. At one point I kicked a beer bottle under the table. I don't know if that still stayed in. And so even like where the bottle went was like an issue. These they just take forever because there is so much detail to it. And literally, if I flip through 5 pages and I should have flipped through 3, we have to go back and start over.
Wow, very precise.
Wow.
Yeah, very precise.
So you come in, was this mocapped, was it? Were you in the suit?
This is me in
Did you
a
have the paint
suit.
on,
Yeah,
or the-
and they've made this entire apartment that she lives in, which is kind of a hot mess.
Does this bring back memories, seeing it? It's like, oh, I remember walking in that door and...
Yeah, I do. I remember all of this. They're super precise also about even just the speed of how I examine something or pulling down the window. All those things are really choreographed down to the tiniest detail. It's funny what matters and what doesn't matter. But when I get to set and there's a scene like this, they will have a huge board on the side and they'll have done pictures of it. So and they'll show me like little sketches on their computers of what this room looks like, so I understand sort of how she's living at this point.
So what are you picking up there in the studio? Is it just like a green block? Is that how it works, or is that actually...
Yeah, it's usually something covered in tape that has like little bubbles on it, so that they can also pick it up with their cameras, so nothing is as it seems at all.
So do you work with the actors at the same time?
Yeah. The only thing that's difficult is that I'm just going to talk about it. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to say it. Anna was recast.
Oh, really?
So you'll see in the credits that like a different actress came in and ended up doing the voice work for Anna. And so what was interesting to me is watching it back, because originally I'm working with one actress and then she got replaced with another. And sometimes that can change the dynamic of scenes. And so when you switch actors, there's a different energy to it. So that's something that people don't really know about this.
So do you have to go back in to reshoot it all?
Sometimes, yeah, you do. And so you're changing people. But it happens all the time, and it happens in TV shows. You shoot something, and then an actor gets replaced. So you think that you have something down, you think you understand the dynamics, and when you have another actor come in and do it, you realize that they're bringing something different to the table, and now this line to you is offensive, and before it wasn't, because of the way they're delivering it. So it's really interesting to have experienced two different Annas.
Yeah, because a lot of voice actors we've had on this stage come in and they say it's a very lonely experience. They don't get to meet anyone, they just record the lines, they do the mocap on their own, but obviously it's a different kind of situation.
Really? They're mocapping on their own?
Yeah,
Maybe
sometimes, and then they just kind of mash them together.
It's a mix. I mean, especially the first one, I think we were together all the time. There are just less characters that she sort of, Alex isn't in the second one, so there's characters that, Roth doesn't appear in the second one, obviously. So she doesn't really have that many friends, but the actor that plays Jonah Earl, he's amazing. I got to spend a lot of time with him again. It kind of does become like family. So for me, sometimes it's lonely and sometimes it's not.
So you get the best of both worlds. Well, although the loneliness isn't a good
yeah,
one.
I don't want to see anybody. Yeah.
So Rihanna wrote this game as well, right? Rihanna Pratchett. Did you speak to her? Did you?
Yeah, one thing we did that was different about this game is we did something called a table read, which is what we do always in TV. And we all sit around the room and we read the story together. So that was really good, because in the first game, sometimes I literally didn't know where the story was going, and it was slightly confusing hopping back and forth. So what was very helpful with this is reading the entire story all the way through and understanding what that character arc was.
Do you get much input? When you say, look, Rihanna, I don't think this is right here. Do you think we should change it, or?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we do, because of the table read. There are times when I feel like Lara's part of me. So there are times that I'm like, I don't think she'd say that. She wouldn't do that. And they're like, well, she did. But I like to have a say, because sometimes there are things I think that it does become a little bit of a collaboration. There are some times when I disagree with something and it absolutely works, and there's some times when I disagree with something and they agree that actually it doesn't work when hearing it out loud. But I don't just get the script and we just shoot it because it's there to shoot. There's a lot of conversation that goes into it, because you have to make her as real of a person in extraordinary circumstances as possible.
Is there a chance for improv as well, or is it once the script, you've gone through that stage,
No.
It's like, stick to it?
No, there's no improving.
Especially if you do 4 pages, you're meant to do 3. It's like, well, I was just improvising.
Yeah, I just cut out that huge scene. No, that would never happen. No, everything has to be really detailed and on point, and there's not really room for me to like crack a joke in the middle of a scene. It would be fun though, but no, there's not enough time.
Is she with you throughout the whole process, or was it just that kind of the meat and the reading?
She's with me through parts of it, but then sometimes I say, wait, can we get Rihanna or whoever on the phone, and we talk to them, because they can't be there for when we're filming. So, but we always have access to them. So if there are questions, if I'm confused about something that just happened before or something that's about to happen, we can always call them.
Okay.
Did you know much about the character of Lara Croft before you took on the role?
How much did I know about her?
Yeah, did you know much?
Well, I think the lucky thing about taking on someone like Lara is that she is so iconic. So she's been in the media for a long time. So it was a game that my brother had when I was younger, and then so I knew enough about her there, and then just I mean the movies too, I guess. But this reboot sort of took her in a little bit of a different direction.
Yeah.
So I think it helped me because I didn't feel like I was following anybody else. I could sort of make her my own.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you're effectively, you are now voicing the lead female game character, possibly ever. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on you when you go into the studio. Is it like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I genuinely care. This is the character that I've played the longest. So it means a lot to me to make her journey feel authentic. It sounds very actor-y to say that, but that's how I genuinely feel about her. So yeah, I care about her as a character, and I care about her journey.
Are you interested in other gaming stuff, or is it just this?
Yeah, I've done another game. I played Supergirl. I did the voice of Supergirl in another game. But to be honest, Tomb Raider takes so much time that I don't know if I would actually have time to really dive into another game, especially if it involved mocap too. I'm very happy with the Tomb Raider franchise.
Do you get a lot of free time outside of Grays and Tomb Raider?
No.
None whatsoever.
No, I really don't. I mean, even our weekends, Grey's Anatomy will film on the weekends all the time.
Oh, wow.
So we don't, for 10 months of the year, I don't really get a lot of time. And then I have a couple months off, but then I come and I want to, fill my time with doing things like this and meeting, fans. So there's not a lot of downtime, but that's fine. I feel like I enjoy keeping busy.
Would you say that playing her has made you a more adventurous person, or not at all? Are you adventurous?
I like to think that I'm adventurous too. Yeah, I mean,
It's amazing.
I think that Lara doesn't necessarily get homesick. It doesn't seem to necessarily. I don't think that I get homesick, and I think that that's freeing. I think it makes you want to. You're able to up and leave and explore. And I've moved around a lot since I was a kid, so I kind of don't almost feel like one place is my home. And I think that she feels the same way.
Have you ever thought about taking up rock climbing?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. I would be a terrible Tomb Raider, like really bad.
And he's killed you
There you
again.
go. There's a terrible Tomb
good.
Raider.
That was very comforting.
I did it on purpose.
No, I don't. I like the idea of it.
Oh, wow.
This doesn't help at all, by the way.
I'm so sorry.
Scared of heights, and so this is you never rock climbing now, right? Because of this.
Yeah, I think, if it felt safe, I would do it. But look at the way she does it. I mean, she has like zero rope action going on. It's ridiculous.
There we go. Well done, Rich. Well done.
Thanks.
Although,
I got this far last time though, so
yeah. Just go up, Rich. Just go up.
thank you.
There we go.
That
Don't
was
jump.
my mistake.
Careful.
Please, God, make it.
I've completed this and everything.
So, in terms of like, how is your time split? I mean, you're doing 10 months of Grays, and then Tomb Raider fits in the middle. I mean, for an average week when you're doing Grays and Tomb Raider, I mean,
Yeah.
you must be working 15 hours a day kind of thing, right?
Well, Tomb Raider. Thank God. I'm going to do it for you. Tomb Raider takes 9 hours a day. Grey's Anatomy, we can film up to 17
wow.
sometimes, depending on shooting schedule. I mean, when I say I have no time, I mean I genuinely have no time. I like to go home and I watch like really cheesy shows, and like The Bachelor. Or like Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if you have that here. But and then like Game of Thrones. So I just catch up on my own fangirling TV.
Okay.
Get ready for the scary bit.
So, did you have to mock up all this? Was this?
This is mocapped.
So you were just there.
This is, I believe. Wait, hang on. I remember him. No, I don't. I really
So
don't
what were
actually.
you seeing?
I actually don't remember him at all. It depends. If I'm about to, I don't think so. I think
They didn't
if
throw
I'm about
scorpions
to
on
enter out into a tomb, then yes. But if I'm just walking for hours through this tunnel, then probably not.
So it's like, right, now Camilla, you've got a scorpion on your shoulder, you have to brush it off. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
How do the fans compare, like Grays versus Tomb Raider? I mean, because you have a
They're
great relationship,
equally
right?
as passionate, believe me. Wow. I don't think that necessarily. How are they different? They're very similar, to be honest. I think that Grey's Anatomy fans care a lot more about my relationship than Tomb Raider fans care.
Really? It's like there's a hashtag for it, right?
Hashtag Jolex, yeah.
Right.
There's a hashtag for that relationship. Although I have had people ask me if, Lara was in love with Sam or if she was in love with Alex, like her own Alex. But Grey's Anatomy, they're very... here's what I don't get with Tomb Raider fans that I do get with Grey's Anatomy fans. I get accused of things. So I get stuff like, are you kidding? You broke up with Alex? What are you doing? Like, I get a lot of that. Why did Derek die? Oh my God, I really hope you've caught up.
Oh, yeah. So whoever's watching season 1, okay. Okay.
Oh, God.
There's noises over there.
So they like to give me a harder time, probably.
So do you get that much insight when you're speaking to like Rihanna and you're reading the script about Lara, if she's in love with someone or she likes someone or dislikes someone?
They actually kind of keep stuff from me until we start shooting. So I know some things, and then we'll get into shooting, and I'll say, wait, hang on. Is there something going on with us? And they'll kind of tell me then. But Lara has yet to really have a relationship, so we'll see.
I mean, it's only a matter of time. In the older games and in the films, she had love interest.
It's teased, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Would you like her to have a love interest?
Yeah.
Or would you like her to be mean and independent?
I think it would be interesting because you know what I think it would do is I think that she constantly tells Jonah to, stay behind, go away, because she feels like it slows her down, but also her heart is kind of attached to Jonah as a family member, and I think that it makes the stakes higher for her in the game. If she was in love with someone, then I think it would make the stakes even higher than that. So that would be interesting for her.
Okay. So no, just keep her as she is, right?
No, make the stakes as high as possible.
Yeah.
Give her someone.
Is there anything you don't like about Lara, or has she become part of you so much that you accept her flaws? She's quite relentless,
Is there
right?
anything I don't
Almost to a
like
fault.
about her? That's interesting. I think
No one's
that
watching.
she doesn't like to take help, and I think that she can use it. But other than that, I like everything about her, including a lot of her faults, but there's nothing that really bothers me.
Okay.
I'm so biased.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if you want to do the third one, right? You can't go, no, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So they cast the Tomb Raider movie recently.
They did,
Was that
Alicia.
something that you were interested in, or were they?
Well,
were you
yeah, I mean, I
approached?
feel like I've been hearing about the movie for so long, and it's based on the reboot, so it's hard to... There's no way, like, you would be lying if you said, like, that wasn't something that you're interested in, but I knew that was maybe going to happen before that was even announced. So it wasn't a shock to me. And I also think first off, Alicia's just won an Oscar. She's going to do an incredible job. And I also feel like what is kind of amazing about being Lara Croft is that there will always be new Laras and someone to step into the boots. And I think it's going to be super interesting when I'm finished with the games, who takes that on and what version of Lara and characteristics they bring to the table. And so I'm actually now just really super excited to see it, to be honest. I think she's going to do a great job.
Have you got any advice for her? Like jumping into a role like this? Because you came in, were you
I
given any
think that the
advice
most
coming in?
important thing to do is to make it your own and to try not to think of the previous Laras. I think for her, Angelina Jolie having played her in the movies, I think that is probably intimidating, but I don't think it needs to be. I think you just make the character your own. So I would tell her, try not to think of previous Laras and just go have fun, kick butt.
So you were given no advice coming into Lara? It was just like fresh take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, that you're never going to be able to play it the way somebody else does, but I think that's what's interesting.
What do you think makes Lara such an enduring character?
I think people relate to the struggle. I think that, life is hard, and I think that you see a character push through that, and that is inspiring.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Right, what time are we on, Rich?
We are at
I'm going to wander into the audience. So if
25
there are any questions, we'll get some from the fans. There's loads of people. Oh my God, it's... Right, I'm going to head to the back. Hopefully Rich won't die again. Questions,
I wouldn't
hands?
trust it.
Here we go. Mario in the middle. Question.
How are your swimming skills?
Sorry, can you say again?
How are your swimming skills? Can you
How my
swim?
swimming skills?
Yeah.
Well, because she drowns a lot. Is that what you're asking? I mean, I can swim. I'm not sure I do very well swimming through tiny tunnels, but it's one thing that, thank God, we never have to do is we actually don't ever do any kind of motion capture underwater like that, unless I'm drowning, in which case they hand me a water bottle and I just basically choke on water, which is not fun.
Excellent. Question.
Following up to that, there are a lot of interesting deaths in the Lara Croft game. What was it like filming those?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I can hear sound out there, so it's hard to understand.
So there's a lot of interesting death sequences. Lara dies a lot.
Deaths?
What was it like shooting those? And I mean, how much did you actually shoot of those?
It's really exhausting, actually. There was one day, I've talked about this many times, but I have talked about it because it happens all the time with Tomb Raider. A lot of the death scenes are actually shot in a VO booth or captured in a VO booth, and I spend the day dying every single way possible. So any way that you can kill me, and it gets inventive. Like the bear, actually, no, I do have to talk about this. When I went into the VO booth and they told me, they're like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Like a bear's going to take off your face, basically, and you're fighting with it. And then you get hit in, and then it hits you back. And then they just go, okay, go do that. And it's like, I don't have any experience fighting a bear. I have no idea what that's like. So it can get really interesting.
So no research fighting a bear then?
No
Oh,
bear
okay.
research, yeah.
Here we go.
If Lara could have any of Joe's characteristics, what would you want it to be?
I would love her to have some medical geniusness, because if she could stitch herself up in a way better than she does usually, that would really help.
Brilliant.
Okay, I'm really sorry, it's only about Grays, but do you have any idea what Joe's real name is?
I truly, honestly have no idea what Joe's real name is. And I'm going to put this in a way that, well, I just said it, didn't I? Well, never mind. Truly, honestly, when we get scripts for Grey's Anatomy, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. And Justin and I, a few episodes before that, we heard that there was going to be a wedding. And so we were like, oh my God, we're getting married. Oh my God, finally. And we were getting excited. I was like, here's the dress I want to wear. And then we heard it wasn't us. And then when we got the script, we were completely blindsided. We honestly did not know that any of that was going to happen. And I just found out maybe 2 days before shooting those scenes. So I truly have no idea. I don't know if even they know. So we'll see. I have no clue.
Beautiful. Can you raise your hand higher? It's hard for me to see if I can see any. Right, over here. But while I'm walking across here, how did you actually get started in Tomb Raider? I mean, what's the process? I know it was a secret character, right? They didn't tell you who that you were playing.
How did I get started in Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
I auditioned for a game that was called Cryptids. I didn't know it was Tomb Raider. That was the code name for it. And the girl's name was Sarah. And I thought she kind of sounded like Lara Croft. So I went in wearing shorts and boots, and I pulled my hair in a pony. And it was a lot of Lara's video diaries. And then maybe 2 weeks later, I heard that it was Tomb Raider, which was a lot more exciting than Cryptids, which I never heard of. So yeah, I didn't initially know what it was, but I knew I had always wanted to do a game, and I thought the motion capture sounded really fun, so I was down. But then, Tomb Raider was extra exciting.
So you were also going to dress up as Lara Croft in Greys, right? Is there a story there? Am I right?
There is a story there.
Tell us that story.
Know that?
Oh, research.
There is a scene a couple seasons ago where Jo shows up at Alex's door as Tinkerbell. And there was discussion at one point of her showing up as Lara Croft, which would have been really fun and funny. And I'm not sure why it got nixed. Maybe because her showing up at his door with a few guns and a bow and arrow would have been terrifying as opposed to fairy wings. But no. The one thing that I do want to do though is that in Jo and Alex's loft, they have a gaming system with a bunch of games, but they don't have Tomb Raider. So I have this whole idea that I'm going to bring my own Tomb Raider game and just sneak it in the pile, and I will take a picture and tweet it out when I do that. Nice. Because it's definitely happening. It's blasphemy to not have it.
Wonderful. I'm right at the back now. Here we go.
How do motion capture directors differ from TV show directors, and is there anything in particular that makes either of them tick?
They honestly don't differ. You're trying to... Actually, that's not true. They do differ in that it matters a lot more, unless I'm in a surgery scene, in which case it's very similar, but it matters a lot more in motion capture, my placement with my hands, like grabbing a bottle. On Greys, it doesn't matter if I put it down here, or I put it down here, or somewhere else. But in Tomb Raider, those things are really, really choreographed, like I said, so that's different. They're looking out for that, and I think otherwise, on TV, they're just really looking for emotional one-on-one with somebody. Unless you're in a surgery scene, and if I pick up a heart and it's supposed to be a lung, then that's kind of a bad thing. So they're a little bit different, but they're mostly very similar.
Have you got any interesting anecdotes from the set of Rise of the Tomb Raider that maybe you haven't told before? Funny stories? Do people play pranks on each other? What's the dynamic like?
It's really fun. The only thing I can think of is that when we were shooting, the actor that played Roth was really, really funny. So in real life, so any time that we were in scenes together, it was, because the material of Tomb Raider is so serious all the time, and he would try and find ways to screw me up and have me laugh, and I would always laugh. I'm terrible at laughing. I laugh all the time. Justin and I were always laughing. It's hard to do scenes with him. So I would be scared to actually work with him, like in his scene, I'm spoiling this, but something not very good happens to him in the first game. And in that scene together, I was terrified to work that with him because I knew he would make jokes through it, and I knew I had to be devastated. So just general stories from set during that first season were all of us just trying not to laugh when he was on set.
Yeah.
It was, but it was really fun. I mean, those are fun moments, and those make camaraderie amongst the cast. So, yeah.
Sounds terrifying. And fun.
Hi there. I think that Lara's incredibly sweet, like all the time, even when she's swearing. Could you give us your best angry Lara?
Can I give you my best angry Lara? As in, like, say something? Give me something. You have to tell me something to say.
You got anything? Is it? You got something to say? Oh, I'll tell you what. You don't make it easy for me, do you? If I can still see you. Here we go. Go on then.
I know you say it a lot, so can you say something like, "You bastards"?
I do say that a lot. You're right, I do. Okay, let me think.
Get into character. That's it.
I really hate you guys. Okay. Get away from me, you bastards!
There you go. Round of applause for that, right? Did you realise how much
I
swearing...
sound like I'm being a diva out here. They're like, oh my God, that actress is horrible.
Did you realise how much swearing was in the script before you took on the role? Because she swears a lot these days, right? It's like,
She
oh,
swears
shit.
a lot. Actually, there's more swearing that she does, and a lot got taken out.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, there was a scene in the first game when she yells, "I'm Lara effing Croft" at someone, which I really wanted to keep in, but no, that got cut. There's only a certain number of F words that you're allowed in games. So, and in movies too, I believe. So, so they count them.
Oh, wow.
Which
But
is
you would,
really
you
weird.
would be swearing in those situations, wouldn't you? If you were on a
I would
cliff edge.
swear even more than she does.
Yeah, right.
Way more. Way more. It's warranted, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we've got another question.
Hiya. So you talked about who's funny on the Lara Croft set, but who's the funniest on the Grays set?
If you can hear me.
This pains me to say. But Jesse Williams, I guess, is also very funny. No, he's exceptionally good looking, so it's unfortunate that he's also funny. Jesse's really funny, but I work with Justin more. The great thing about Justin is that Justin doesn't realize he's being funny, which makes it funnier. And when he forgets his lines, when Justin forgets his lines, he does this thing where he goes, "Duh, duh, 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 duh." It's so stupid, it's ridiculous. I don't know why he does it, but it makes me break scenes all the time. So Justin, because I work with him a lot, he's also really hilarious, but Jesse's exceptionally funny.
Do you find there's much of an overlap in the fans? Is it Lara Croft and Grays, or do they kind of love both?
Is there a crossover between
Yeah,
fans?
I mean, you guys can tell us in the audience. Does
Actually-
everyone love Tomb Raider and Grays?
There is a crossover between fans. I meet a lot of fans, especially for some reason in the States, maybe more. I meet a lot of fans that play Tomb Raider and also watch Grey's Anatomy. So weirdly enough, I would have thought that they were kind of separate fandoms, but they do cross over at points. And that's really fun when you kind of get to talk to someone about both characters.
Excellent. Well, we've got time for one more question. Can I see?
Not enough to last the
Can't
night.
see at the back. Oh, I can't see. Oh, we do. Here we do. All right, two more. Go.
Hey, I was wondering what part of Lara do you think is more like you?
I think that, well, this is kind of getting a bit intimate, but I lost a parent when I was younger, and I think there's something very, your experience of growing up without one of your parents is it kind of sets you apart, you feel like, from other people's normal experiences. And so I feel like I understand that pain and that feeling of loss because it's kind of indescribable. So that's something that I do feel like I share with her. And then I actually feel like it's been kind of nice to play someone that's also had that experience, and sort of it's been cathartic in a way to kind of bring those emotions that I feel to her.
Wonderful. And the last question.
I just wanted to know, how difficult was the medical jargon in Grays for you have to learn? How difficult was it to say and to know what they actually mean?
Wait, can you repeat? Sorry, what was the question?
How difficult was the medical jargon in Grays? Because you have to learn a medical jargon.
Oh, the medical
terms
jargon.
And stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. It doesn't really get easier, but sometimes when it's really hard, this is very sneaky and I would never do this, but I do this. When you're operating in a scene, and sometimes it's really difficult because, to be honest, we can get the script the night before and we're thrown into a medical scene, you're trying really hard and it's just not, for whatever reason, it's just not sticking. So if you have a shot of us like this, and we're operating like this down, if you can't see, we call this the field. If you can't see the field, we have been known to sometimes put our script right here so that you're like, BP is dropping, I need a da-da-da-da-da-da, and then you're just reading it. which is kind of sneaky, and you would never know. But sometimes it is very difficult still, and we have to do that. But for the most part, we are exceptionally professional on our set, and it would never happen.
Would you say that's the difference between the two roles? Because how far in advance do you get the Tomb Raider script? Or is it a matter of turning up on the day? But I guess you don't have
get the
to...
script pretty far in advance. You know, I will read a version of it 7 months in advance. With Grays, we get it the night before, and then most of the time, like the day before, maybe luckily 2 days before, and then scenes change all the time, so you'll show up to set. Sometimes I've shown up to set, and I haven't realized that the scene's been rewritten because I haven't checked my email that night before. And I'm like, oh, you're proposing. Great. I thought we were just having dinner. Okay, totally different scene. So that does happen too. So with Grays, you have to kind of really think on your feet and be ready.
Which do you prefer? Because there could be a tendency to overthink things when you read through the Tomb Raider script so far in advance and you keep reading, it's like, do I read it this way? Do I read it that way? Is it more the spur of the moment?
I think I do prefer to get it in advance because you get more time to first off take in what happens, because Grays is always pretty shocking, especially once we gear up to the finale. We kind of just all sit there and we're like, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? What's happening with you? You know, because we all know something drastic is going to happen to everybody. But I prefer to get it in advance because you need to digest those things, and you need to. Again?
Sorry, my bad.
Really?
That's because you didn't get trained with the bear. So
yeah, it was yeah, you're right. So I prefer to get it in advance just so I can sit first, down a bottle of wine, realize what's happening with my TV life, and then learn my lines. That's great. Perfect.
But you have to run across the platforms and stuff in the
got
middle.
That. I've got that. Thanks.
Anyway, Camilla, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming.
Can I get a huge round of applause for
Thank you.
Camilla Luddington? So, what are you doing for the rest of the weekend? Where can people find you if they
I'm
want to
here
find you?
tomorrow, and then I'm spending the rest of the week with my family back in Berkshire.
Okay, so
Yes.
where are you tomorrow? Are you doing another signing session? Or?
I'm doing signings and autographs again today, and I'm doing the same thing tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Come on, once again for
Thank
Camilla
you.
Luddington.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Camilla.
Thank
you very much, folks. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, and we'll be doing some Square Enix Japan titles. Thank you very much.
Thank you.